Hello? Morning. Whew. Welcome to my garage. Hi, Mom. Just gonna hang out and let people sign on. I'm gonna grab my coffee. Oh, that's good. All right. Well, good morning. It's time for another yoga class. So today is kind of a continuation of yesterday in that all of the postures we're going to do are also antidotes for sitting, but we're going to take it a little bit deeper this morning. And I'm going to introduce you to your fear muscle, the psoas major, and I'm going to hold up a picture in a book, so hopefully this is going to work. I don't even know it looks backwards to me, but we'll see. So this here is your psoas major, and it connects to the iliacus, and together they form the iliopsoas. I just want you to kind of see where it connects to that lumbar spine, and it actually comes through the center of your body down to connect to your femur. Pretty cool, eh? Now, this is the psoas major, anyway, is the only muscle that connects the upper and lower body. And it also connects back to front. And it's also a muscle that gets really tight when we sit. And when it gets tight, it causes a lot of problems. But that's not the coolest part about your psoas. Your psoas major is what I like to call your fear muscle, because it is the main muscle of your startle response. So if you hear a loud noise and you go in kind of that crouch position, that's your psoas pulling your upper and lower body together. And that protects the front of your body, protects your vital organs. It also kind of turns your body into a spring. It's coiling that spring so you're ready to either run or fight, as the case may be. So it's a really important muscle, and we don't have a ton of control over that response, and you don't want control over that response, because if the oldest part of your brain, your lizard brain, notices, a snake on the trail, you don't want to wait and let your conscious mind catch up and go, oh, look, there's a snake, I might want to get out of the way. No, you want your body to spring into action and get you out of the way of the snake. But the problem is that your psoas doesn't know the difference between a snake on the trail that is going to bite you and a full inbox. It doesn't know the difference between a tiger in the jungle and, a bad driver on the road. So when we are under stress, that psoas is constantly being triggered in the same way that your survival instinct would trigger it. So how do we get that ball of stress in the center of your body to open up. Well, luckily there are some really fantastic poses to do exactly that. And what we're going to do today is focus on one of the best. It's called Ustrasana, camel pose. And it is an intense posture. And we're going to spend the whole rest of the class building our way up to camel pose. So we're not going to just jump right into camel pose. That would be crazy. But we are going to build our way up to it. Now, here's the other cool thing. You don't have to be at the mercy of all of these stressors in your life. Totally forgot to mention the elephant in the room, the whole global pandemic thing. You don't have to be at the mercy of that. You can use your body to tell your brain how you're feeling instead of the other way around. And that's one of the amazing benefits of yoga just in general. So we're going to do a little bit of that today too. All right. As such, our seated breathing is going to start off a little differently. But you are going to find your nice comfortable seated position. Whatever that is looking like for you, put on your favorite yoga music and we'll settle in and we'll get started. And it's great to see everybody watching today. Oh man, good to see you all. I'm so excited. We're going to have a really good time today. Alrighty. So find that comfortable seated position, whatever it's looking like for you today. And remember, if you're kind of feeling your back today, if you feel like you're falling down backwards in that seated position, just grab a book or a couple of firm pillows or roll up your mat and get something to sit on. Just brings your hips up a little higher, makes it a little easier. And then close your eyes and just start focusing in on those deep breaths. Nice deep breaths in and out through your nose. Just notice what moves when you breathe. Now, usually, when we're doing our yoga practice, we try to let all the thoughts of the day go so that we can just focus on being where we are in the present right now. You can focus on getting into those different postures and feeling what they're doing and feeling the stretch and feeling the deep breath. Well, we're going to do something a little different. I want you to let yourself think about something you've been avoiding. And there's plenty to choose from right now. So let yourself think about something that you avoid because you know it stresses you out. Let yourself think of something that you don't think about because you know it makes you fearful. Let yourself think about it. But we're going to do it from a slightly different direction. As you are thinking about this thing, whatever it is, notice the effect it has on you physically. So you're letting those thoughts in, but you're trying to direct your attention not to the endless stressful spiral that those thoughts will lead you down, but try to direct your attention to what it is doing to you physically to think about those things. You might notice that the center of your body tightens up. might be your neck or your jaw. You might notice your breathing gets shallower. Just notice these things. Try not to judge. It is what it is. Just notice. Now, at least part of what is happening is that psoas major is tightening down. Now, when that muscle tightens up, and when the stress response starts, if there is not, in fact, a tiger in the bush, your brain starts to look for what the problem is. Where's the danger? And then your body tightens up more. And then your brain starts looking, well, where's the danger? There must be danger if I'm feeling like this. Now here's what we're going to do. We're going to break this spiral. But we're going to do it by opening that body back up. We're going to let our body tell our mind that everything is okay. So feel how everything's real tight, right in the center of your body, right between your eyebrows. There's sort of a sensation of a rock right behind your eyes. Feel all that? Now, intentionally, take a deep breath and reach your arms up and open up everything in the center of your body. Inhale, reach up. Stay tall. And exhale back down. That should already feel a little different. Now let's do it again. Let your body tell your mind how you feel. Inhale, reach up, lift up, get tall. Stay tall. Exhale back down. Should feel even better. Now we're going to go through our breathing stretches the way we always do, those nice seated stretches. And every time you go into another stretch, think not just of, oh, this feels really nice, because it does. But think about how you are opening up a tight spot that was created by those stressful thoughts. You're opening up a tight spot and you're sending the message back to your brain that it's going to be okay. Take a deep breath in, reach up. Exhale, bow forward. And we're going to let those tight spots across your back open up as you inhale. Expand. Expand between your shoulder blades. If it feels okay to relax your neck in this position, you can just let your head hang. How about your jaw? Did your jaw clench when you were having those stressful thoughts? Take a deep breath in. See if you can release your jaw. Inhale all the way back up, reach up, lift up, get tall, open it all up. Stay open, exhale, and twist. Now expand right in the center of your body. Do it for real. inhale up. Exhale, twist the other way. Inhale up, reach up, lift up, get tall. Exhale up and over to one side. Reaching up and over just as far as you feel comfortable. Top shoulder rolls back, top arm reaches over. Take those deep breaths right into that open side. Keep reaching, keep breathing. Roll that top shoulder down. Feel that stretch move into your back. And let your breath follow. And inhale up. Exhale, other side. Up and over just as far as you feel comfortable going. Really reach, lift through your rib cage. And then keep reaching, keep breathing. Roll that shoulder down towards the floor. Feel that stretch move into your back. Let your breath follow. And inhale up, reach up, lift up, get tall. Exhale, round forward. And then as you inhale, open up your chest. Exhale, round. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Inhale, arms reach up. Lift up, get tall. And exhale. Hands back in your lap, take some deep breaths. Now how you feeling? This should feel a lot better. You should feel a little taller. Your face should feel a little softer. Use your body to tell your mind how you feel. You take control. Let's come up to all fours. Alrighty. We're going to dive right into our hips today, actually. So pick up that right knee, 90-degree angle. Let's draw some circles. You want this movement to just come from your hips, so don't let that lower back start swaying. Just moving from those hips. So if you try to make your circle too big, you're going to start, having to do this kind of stuff. Nah, keep it small and controlled. Let's go the other way. Just moving from that hip joint. Feel all those muscles start to burn a little bit. A nice little rhythmic pop happening. And then bring that knee down and pick up your left knee. Same thing, draw those circles. Keeping that 90-degree angle. Sorry, I'm giggling at my hips being a little percussion section over here. And then circle the other way. Knees down, open them out to the edges of your mat, big toes touching, sit back. And let's come down into a wide knee child pose. Press your chest down towards the floor just as far as you feel comfortable. And then take those nice deep breaths. All right. Come on back up. And we're going to get into those shoulders. So abs in nice and tight, keeping your spine neutral, your hips neutral. Let's go protract and retract. Separate your shoulder blades and then squeeze them together. Resisting the temptation to flex your spine as you go into protract. Resisting the temptation to flex your hips when you go into retract. Keep it all neutral. It's just those shoulder blades sliding apart, sliding together. And then neutral, and slide them up and down, or towards your ears and towards your hips in elevate and depress. And then back to center. Let's get a quick little wrist break. So I'll share one of my little tools that I have when I'm on Facebook, especially now. I am allowed 5 anger balls. You know, the react to posts. I get 5 anger balls and then I have to stop. So if you're one of those people who, like me, are just like, God, anger ball, oh, anger ball, ooh, anger ball. It's like you get 5 of them, and then you have to take a break from Facebook and maybe do one of our seated breaks, our desk breaks from yesterday. All right, coming on back. Let's get into cat and cow now. Moving through your spine. Take a nice deep breath in. Retract and depress your shoulders. Tilt your hips. Scoop your chest up. Look up. And then exhale. Protract, elevate. Tuck your tailbone. Tuck your chin into cat. Inhale, retract, depress, tilt, look up. Exhale, protract, elevate, tuck, and round. Keep that going at your own pace, follow your own breathing. Couple more deep breaths in. And when you're ready, exhale back into neutral spine. All right. Pressing your hands into the floor, fingertips, then that first big set of knuckles, then your palms. We're going to go into our down dog. Turn your toes under, take a nice deep breath in, and then as you exhale, push and pull back into down dog. Lifting hips up and back, pressing your chest back towards your knees. And we're going to walk that dog, press one heel down, pull the other knee in,
starting by keeping your hips square so that we're focusing that stretch on your calves and your hamstrings. And then you can let your hips move up and down, side to side, changing up that stretch a little bit, getting your joints moving. Just go where it's feeling good. All right, and then even yourself out. Bend your knees evenly, come up onto the balls of your feet and scoop your tailbone up towards the ceiling, getting a little extra for those hamstrings. Start to press your knees back, start to press your heels down. And your heels might hit the floor or not. Your legs might be straight or not. It's all good. What you want is to feel that sensation of scooping your tailbone up. Whether or not you actually see a scoop is not so much the issue. It's getting that extra stretch for your hamstrings. That's what we're going for. And then walk your feet up to your hands. Take a nice deep breath in, come all the way up. Reach up at the top. Woo! And then exhale, mountain pose. All right. Let's find that mountain pose. Weight is balanced evenly, front to back, side to side on those feet. Feet can be together or hip distance or anywhere in between. Shoulders are back and down. Let's just take some nice deep breaths right here. Adding on. Inhale and reach up. Get tall, ribs away from hips. Exhale, right back into your mountain pose. Staying tall. Inhale, reach up, get a little taller. Exhale, mountain pose. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Moving on. Inhale up. Exhale, swan dive down, hinging at your hips. Bend your knees as much as you need to for that forward fold. Go for stomach to thighs, chest to knees. And then tuck your chin in. And think of reaching the crown of your head down towards the tops of your feet. Take a nice deep breath in, pull your chest away from your knees. It's time for a half lift, reaching the crown of your head away. Hands might be up here, they might be on your shins, they might be on the floor. It's all good. You just go for that long line, crown of your head to your tailbone. And then release it back down, forward fold, tucking everything in. Tuck your chin, round through your back. And then bend your knees. Let's reverse swan dive all the way up with a nice deep breath in. And then release it back down, mountain pose. Whew, let's do that again. Inhale up. Exhale down, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, all the way back up with that reverse swan dive. Reach up at the top. And exhale, mountain. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, all the way back up, reach up at the top. Exhale, mountain. Couple deep breaths right here. Remember on this little section,
everybody's gonna look a little different. So like your forward fold might be more supported like this. So you might bring your hands down to your thighs. The main thing is that as you round through your spine, you want to also support it. So you can either support it by bending your knees and coming down this way, or you can support it with your arms so that you can get this stretch here. And then the half lift might be right up here. Perfectly fine. Again, the thing is that you're looking for is that long spine. So you do you. Take a deep breath in, reach up. Exhale, swan diving down into your forward fold. Inhale, half lift, long spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way back up. Reach up at the top. And exhale, mountain. Let's add on that vinyasa. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, half lift, big deep breath. Hands come down to the floor right underneath your shoulders, and we're going to step back into plank. Let's find a nice plank. Hands are right underneath your shoulders. Don't let them get too wide. Slight protraction, we're pushing the floor away, and you're tucking your tailbone under. You're tucking your hips into your ribs. You're using your abdominal muscles as if you're trying to pull your toes in towards your hands. Take a nice deep breath in. Elbows go straight back, and we lower down, chaturanga. Chest and chin towards the floor. If you just belly flopped, don't worry. I got some modifications for you. Inhale, we're going to scoop forward and up into up dog, watching out for those shoulders. Don't let them be here. This is elevated and protracted. We want them retracted and depressed. Turn your toes under, and let's push and pull back into down dog. All right, couple modifications for you. Plank. Let's inhale into that plank. You can do this on your knees. Same thing with chaturanga. Just stay on your knees. No big deal. Instead of up dog, you can do baby cobra, leaving your rib cage on the floor. And instead of down dog, you can do child pose. All of this is easier on your wrists, elbows, shoulders, and lower back. So if anything's talking to you, take a modification. Let's inhale back into plank. On your knees or on your toes. Exhale, chaturanga, knees or toes. Inhale, scoop it up dog or baby cobra. Exhale, pull it back, down dog or child pose. Inhale, feet to hands, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, all the way back up. Reach up at the top. And exhale, mountain pose. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, half lift. Hands down, step back plank. Go through your vinyasa. Whatever it is looking like for you today. Chaturanga. Scooping up. Pulling back. And then inhale your feet to your hands, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way back up, reach up at the top. And exhale down. We're going to do one more time, and then we're going to add on. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, half lift, hands down, step back plank, go through your vinyasa. From that down dog, inhale, feet to hands, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way back up. Reach up at the top. And exhale, mountain. All right. So we're going to do a couple hip openers. And your choice on this one. I'll show you the hip opener that we did yesterday with the more 90-degree lunge, or you can choose to do the previous hip opener that's a little bit of a wider stance. So let's get to it. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, half lift. Hands down, step back, plank. Let's go through that vinyasa. Alrighty. So step your right foot all the way up between your hands. And now your options are either staying up in a 90-degree angle this way and focusing on squeezing your glutes to tuck your tailbone under so that you're getting that stretch on your left hip. Or you can pull that left knee way back and make it more like gravity is pulling you down into that stretch. So you've got a couple options here. You take the one that's feeling good today. Just make sure that your right knee is over your right ankle. So again, this wider stance, it's more gravity pulling you down. And this 90-90 stance, you're a little bit more in control here. So you're focusing on how deep this stretch gets. So you can use whichever one. We're just focusing on opening up that left hip, getting it to stretch, getting it to open. And if you're in that 90-90 lunge, you can reach your left arm up to give you a little bit more stretch. I think if you get to the point where it's feeling pretty good and you want to go a little deeper, you can just reach that left arm up. If you're down in the low lunge, just keep breathing and letting that hip sink down. So 90-90, you can also reach up. Really great way to get a nice long stretch here. And those of you down in that low lunge, take it to the active step, turn your toes under, and push your heel back. So these are both really good. They're just a different way of hitting that muscle. All right. And everybody, pull that right foot back, plant your hands, and we're going to inhale back into plank. Go through your vinyasa. And now left foot comes up. And same thing here. You can be in your 90-90 stretch, squeezing through your glutes to tuck that tailbone under, push that hip forward. You'll feel it. Or pull that leg back and just like gravity pull you down. So whichever one is giving you the best stretch today. And if you're in that 90-90 stretch, that 90-90 lunge, and it's feeling pretty good, feeling pretty strong, go ahead and reach that right arm up. Get a little extra stretch. For those of you down in the low lunge, turn your toes under and press that heel back. Make it a little more active. Remember to keep your hips low. Your hips are going to want to pop up when you do that. So try to keep them low. And you can release that down. Breathing deeply wherever you are. Everybody, pull that left foot back, plant your hands, and let's go through that vinyasa. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or baby cobra. Exhale, down dog or child pose. Inhale, feet to hands, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way back up. And exhale. Mountain pose. All right. Awesome. So we got those hips a little bit open. And now we're going to take it down to the floor. We're gonna do a couple of our back strengtheners. So come on down, all the way, nothing fancy, just get down on the floor. We're gonna start with cobra pose. So plant your hands onto the floor right next to your chest. Fingertips no farther forward than the tops of your shoulders. So your hands are pulling back a little bit. Shoulders retract and depress, and your elbows are squeezing towards one another like you're trying to get them to touch. Now zip up your legs, toes, ankles, knees, all squeezing towards one another. Tops of your feet are gonna stay on the floor for this one. So reach those toes back. Make those legs as long as you can. Squeeze your butt to push your hips down into the floor. Take a nice deep breath in. Let your abs expand against the floor, and you are lifting yourself up. There is very little to no weight in your hands. This is not a push-up. This is the muscles in the posterior chain lifting you up off the floor. And then release it down all the way. Breathe. We're going to do that again. Pressing your palms into the floor, shoulders retract and depress, elbows squeezing towards one another. Squeeze your legs together and then reach those toes back. Make your legs long. Squeeze your butt to push your hips down. Inhale and lift up. You can absolutely keep breathing in this posture. Don't hold your breath. Keep breathing. Keep those shoulders reaching back, elbows reaching back, toes reaching back, and then release down. Alrighty. Now we're going to let those legs come up off the floor. Because you can probably feel in Cobra, the harder you squeeze those glutes, the more those toes want to come up. So let's get them up. We're going to go into seal pose. So shoulders are still doing the same thing. They are back and they are down. We're going to reach back. Toes, ankles, and knees all squeezing towards one another. Squeeze your glutes and let your legs come up. Really squeeze those shoulder blades back down and together, reaching your hands down by your sides. Now when you squeeze your glutes to get those legs to come up, when you're pressing your hips down into the floor, make sure you're squeezing your knees together. Get those adductors working. Woohoo! And then release it down. All right, a little more of a challenge. We're going to try full locust. But if your back starts talking to you in full locust, just come back to seal pose. The difference is the arm position. So this time, arms are going to reach out at shoulder height. Legs are doing exactly the same thing. So zip them up. Toes, ankles, knees. Squeeze your glutes to push your hips down. Legs are going to float up. Shoulder blades are still back down and together. This time, though, your arms are out. So there's a little more weight. So if this starts to bother your back, just bring your arms back. Now squeeze those knees together because your feet are going to want to come apart. Don't let them. Keep squeezing. Keep squeezing your butt to push your hips down. And then relax it down and let it go. Alrighty. Now press your palms into the floor. Press yourself up and back. Have a seat. We're going to go into crab. And remember, all of this is getting us ready for camel. Feet are flat on the floor, about hip distance. Hands come back behind you. Sitting up tall. Press your arms into the floor. Your shoulders retract. And depress, and you're pushing your sternum up. Shoulders stay back and down. It's your sternum that lifts up. And then shake it out. Now you can stay in half crab or take it up to full crab. Start with half crab. Squeeze your shoulder blades back down and together. Sternum lifts up nice and tall. And now you can press your feet into the floor, squeeze your butt, and lift your hips too. But remember, think of pushing your sternum towards your chin.
sternum towards your chin so that you keep your chest up nice and tall. And don't let your chest fall between your shoulders. Keep pushing the floor away. Keep squeezing those shoulder blades together underneath you, coming up just as high as you feel like you can. Keep squeezing through your glutes. Your knees are pointing forward. Toes are pointing forward, right at hip distance. And then bring it down. Whew. All right. A little wake-up call for your shoulders. Now lie back. Keep your feet where they are. Lie back. And we're going to go into a bridge pose. So we're focusing a little harder on what your glutes are doing. So pressing your feet into the floor about hip distance. Toes are forward. Knees are about hip distance, right above your heels. Flatten your shoulder blades into the floor and put your palms down. Now remember that once you start lifting your hips, you don't want to turn your head. So if there's anything you need to see me doing first, watch and then join in so that you're not turning your head in the bridge pose. Pressing your shoulders into the floor, press your feet into the floor, squeeze your glutes, and start by just lifting your hips up. Feel your glutes working, and then check in. I know you can't really see your knees, but check in and make sure that they haven't tried to fall out or squeeze together. So your feet are parallel, your knees are parallel. Now press your feet into the floor. We're going to lift those hips a little higher, but instead of thinking just up, you want to think of pushing the floor away and pushing your sternum closer to your chin. And you'll feel that. A lot of strength in the glutes, and you'll feel that extra arch right up in your thoracic spine where we want it. Nice deep breaths. And if you want a little extra, interlace your fingers underneath you, lock out those elbows, walk your shoulder blades together, and that just gives you a little more room. It's just an option. And slowly release down. Pull your knees into your chest. Do a little rock side to side. And then we're going to rock and roll up. All right. Everything we did got us ready for this. Come into a kneeling position. Knees are directly underneath your hips. Shoulders back and down. Your hands come back behind you. Fingers point down. Now, just like in crab pose, we want those shoulders to retract and depress. Elbows are squeezing towards one another. Just like they were in cobra pose too, squeezing those elbows towards one another. Now squeeze your glutes and tuck that tailbone under. Really squeeze, squeeze, squeeze through your glutes. And then push your hips forward. And what you want is for your hips to stay over your knees, no matter what. Squeezing those shoulder blades together, lift your sternum to the ceiling, just like crab pose. Keep squeezing your glutes. Hips are forward. Sternum is tall. Lift your chin to the ceiling and let the crown of your head fall back. This is camel pose. Now you can see and feel why that psoas major might not like this posture very much. Your survival instinct does not like this posture very much because you are making yourself completely vulnerable. Slowly tuck your chin, slowly come back up, same way you went into it. We're just going to take a little break and then do it again. We're going to come all the way down into Shavasana. Now that was just step one of camel pose. And if that's as far as you want to go today, that is 100% absolutely okay. Like I said, this posture can be very intense, physically and mentally.
because, like I said, your survival instinct does not like this posture. Let's pull those knees into your chest, rock and roll, come on back up. Remember, your psoas' main job is this, protection. We are doing the exact opposite. Bring your hands back behind you, fingers point down, shoulders back and down, elbows squeezing towards one another. Squeeze your glutes to tuck that tailbone under, let your hips push forward a little bit. But remember, you don't want to just collapse into that lower back. Your shoulder blades are pushing your sternum to the ceiling. Then lift your chin to the ceiling and let the crown of your head drop back. Take deep breaths as you inhale. Feel your abdomen expand. Feel your rib cage expand. Feel your chest expand. Keep squeezing through your glutes, pushing those hips forward. Lifting your sternum towards the ceiling. Now, if you're feeling okay here, you can follow the crown of your head back and down. Keep those hips forward. If you can see the back wall or whatever's behind you, maybe reach down and grab a hold of your heels. Keep squeezing through your glutes. Hips stay forward above your knees. Chest is tall. Breathing deeply. And then you come out of this the same way you go into it. So your head's going to come up last. Have a seat. We're going to come all the way down in Shavasana. Be gentle with yourself. Take a couple deep breaths. So, a couple things. If you were in that posture and you felt this weird little twinge behind your belly button, that's your psoas major. It's saying, what are you doing? And you're saying, I'm letting you go. You might also feel a little queasy or a little dizzy, also normal, because another part of this posture is massaging your liver and your kidneys. And if you have been stress binging on bourbon and Girl Scout cookies, your liver and your kidneys are not very happy with you right now. And so what you just did is a very nice thing for them, because it's like a little massage. Little massage. We're going to do it one more time. And then we're going to do rabbit pose, which is the opposite. We go from a deep back bend to a deep forward bend. So you get the counter stretch. Go ahead and tuck those knees in, little rock and roll. Get yourself back up and come into that kneeling position. You know what to expect. And if you start to feel your heart racing or you feel that weird little twinging happening behind your belly button, just bring your attention to those deep breaths. You are using your body to tell your brain how you feel. And what you are doing in this position is saying, I am safe and secure, and I am open. I'm not contracting, I'm expanding. Fear contracts, love expands. And that's what we're doing. Bring your hands back behind you. Shoulders back and down, opening up your chest. Squeeze your glutes, push those hips forward a little bit, and then lift your sternum towards the ceiling. Get tall. Lift your chin towards the ceiling. You are safe and you are expanding. Keep breathing deeply. Wherever you are in this, breathing deeply. If you want to follow the crown of your head back and down, go for it. Just go as deeply as you feel like you can in this position. Breathe. Every inhale opens up the front of your body. Your hips, your abdomen, your rib cage, your chest, your throat. Slowly help yourself back out. Be gentle with yourself. Have a seat. Come on back down. Shavasana. Whew. Deep breaths. All right. The antidote to all of that back bending is a nice deep forward bend, which is rabbit pose. Pull your knees into your chest. Let's rock and roll. And bring yourself back up. Now, if you've never done rabbit pose, you might want to watch me get into it first, because once you start getting into it, you can't see anything. So you're going to bring your hands back behind you. Eventually, you're going to be grabbing a hold of your heels. Fingers on the inside, thumbs on the outside, cupping your heels with your palms. That's your grip, eventually, in rabbit. But while you're in the kneeling position, while we're getting ready for it, it's kind of hard to get that grip. So get whatever grip is comfortable. Just hands back by your feet. Now we're going to start by rounding back. You're going to tuck your chin into your throat, and you're going to round and turn your back into a little letter C. So imagine that someone's sitting behind you, pulling your ribs behind your hips. You're going to turn into the tightest little letter C that you can. And then you're going to take this whole letter C and you're going to roll it forward. Keep tucking that chin in. Keep that letter C. And roll it forward. Your goal being forehead to knees. Now, depending on how you're built, this might not ever happen. That's okay. You just keep that letter C. That's the important part. Now, once you're down, you can get your grip. Fingers on the inside, thumbs on the outside, cupping your heels with your palms. You're going to push the floor away with your knees and your shins to lift your hips up. Eventually, the crown of your head is going to be on the floor. You're going to have your chin tucked in, real tight, forehead on your knees. But you just get into this as far as you are feeling comfortable. And wherever you are, keep breathing. Slowly sit back. Slowly roll up, keeping your chin tucked. Till the very last. Whew. And that's when your head comes up. And that's one of those postures where all the good stuff comes when you release it. Come on down in Shavasana. And just let that one go. Take a couple deep breaths right here. Let's rock and roll up. Get ourselves a spine twist. That was a lot of work for your back, so I can't let you go without giving your back a little massage. Cross your right leg over your left. Sitting up nice and tall, find those sit bones. Bring your right arm back behind you and push the floor away. Sternum up. You can headlock that right knee with your left elbow, or if your left shoulder says it's okay, bring your elbow to the outside of your knee and you can get a deeper twist. Wherever you are in this twist, focus on taking those deep breaths right into the center of your body. Head is going to swivel right on top of your spine, chin over your right shoulder, breathing deeply. And slowly release, unwind, uncross, cross left over right, sitting up nice and tall, left arm back behind you, sternum up tall, headlock that left knee with your right elbow, or if your right shoulder says it's okay, bring your elbow to the outside of your knee, press a little deeper. Head just swivels right on top of your spine. Deep breaths. And release, unwind, uncross, come on back into your seated position. All right. Thanks for being with me once again this morning, or whenever you're watching this. If you have any comments, any questions, any requests for next time, just leave a comment for me. Let's take a nice deep breath in, reach up, palms touch, exhale. Hands are on the heart center. Thank you again so very much for being with me and doing this crazy little yoga journey. And have a wonderful day. Remember, let your body tell your mind how you're feeling, not the other way around. Lots of desk breaks and only 5 anger balls. I'll see you all tomorrow. Namaste. See you next time, friends.